here's where I left off the last time. So we know that Newton's second law of motion is telling us how big will be the acceleration produced by the net force. It tells us that the acceleration is proportional to the net force. So the larger the net force acting on the object, the larger the acceleration that it will create. Now, to make it an exact equation, you would have to find the constant of proportionality. That would make, if this was in meters per second and this was in newtons, this constant has to be a particular value. So if you did the measurements, if you actually measured net force on an object and the acceleration which it created, you would get a graph like this. You would see that the net force and the acceleration are related, by a straight line graph. Now the slope of this graph, of course, is the constant of proportionality in this equation. And the guys that did this, they found out that the constant of proportionality is exactly equal to 1 over the mass of the object. 1 over the mass of the object. In other words, that mass times acceleration equals net force. And this is the usual way that you see Newton's second law of motion written down as an equation. And when you're asked a question, what is Newton's second law of motion saying? The shortest way to say it, this is what it's saying. This equation right here. It's saying that if a non-zero net force is acting on an object, it will produce an acceleration, and the constant of proportionality there is the mass. My wife is calling. I have to go.